friend said that I should kind of explain about my story and what happened from the beginning. Um, it was January 3rd. We had a small snowstorm here in my neck of the woods in Virginia. Work was delayed till noon. So in the morning, it wasn't that bad at 7 o'clock, but it started to snow more during the day or early morning. I had went and cleaned off my car before leaving to go to work. And while I was walking to take the broom back to the porch, I fell and I hit my head. I fell backward. It threw my head back, and it was a pretty hard lick. In fact, I was afraid to, just come back in and sit. I actually called my sister and told her, I was like, I just need to be on the phone with somebody, but I'm heading to work because I know people would be there. So I went into work, only worked for about 45 minutes, and my boss told me, she was like, Carrie, you don't look like that you feel well. You might need to get that checked out. So I called my primary care physician. They weren't answering the phone. So I called Velocity Care. Velocity Care told me if I went there, they were going to transport me to the hospital to do a CT scan. So I went back home, called my son. He took me to the emergency room. While there, they did do a CT scan to check to see if I had a concussion. She said that everything looked fine and sent me on my way. About 2 weeks after that, I was feeling fine. After the fall, first day or two, I had a pretty bad headache, but other than that, it seemed to go away. About 2 weeks after that, I had something else arise that I got on my chart to see if I could just message a doctor instead of trying to get an appointment. It was just a simple little thing, nothing too big. I never used my chart, or I rarely used my chart. So when I got on there, it said that my results were in from the CT scan. When I was looking at it, it said MRI recommended, that there was something found called a Thyroglossal Duct Cyst. So when I called my primary care physician, she told me, she was like, come on in today, let's talk about this. And I did, and when I went in there, she was talking about how it was a birth defect. It was when you're an embryo, your thyroid is attached to the back of your tongue. It goes down this duct system, and it ends up where it needs to be, where it ends up being. But once it does the travel, it disappears. Mine did not disappear, apparently. And so she told me that it might be best to do an MRI. Let's take a look at it. So I did. I was scheduled for an MRI. Took the MRI scans. Came back. Yes, that's what it was. She recommended seeing ears, nose, and throat specialist. So the next day, I actually had an appointment with the ears, nose, and throat specialist. I went to see him, and he recommended surgery because he said the longer the cyst is there, the more likely it would become cancer. But it's only a 1% chance it could become cancer. But there's other tests he wanted to do first. He wanted to check my thyroid. Because if there's anything, they did notice nodules on my thyroid. So he did recommend an ultrasound. We done an ultrasound, and then we done an ultrasound with biopsy. That came back negative or benign. It was only like a 4% chance that it would have been cancer, the nodules. It was very painful because that one nodule they couldn't get enough cells out of. The other one they were able to get cells. And anyway, got that. But like I said, it was benign. Then after that, we set up for the surgery for the thyroglossal duct cyst. Before, he said if we had to do the thyroid surgery too, he tried to do it. He would do it both at the same time. That way, I'd only have to go through one surgery. Anyway, we scheduled surgery for May 12th. They called me right before, like a week before surgery, and asked me if they can postpone my surgery because there's somebody that needed it worse than I did, and I said okay. Then they scheduled it for 2 weeks after that, which was May 28th. Right before the May 28th surgery, I called because I hadn't heard anything back from them. Well, I had gotten some blood work done before, and my white blood count was pretty low, so it was elevated. My white blood count was elevated, and they wanted me to get that test ran again before they done the surgery, and it was a mess up with the scheduling, got me kicked off the scheduling. I did redo the test on my own, and it came back in normal range, so we scheduled the surgery for June 13th. Again, June 13th came around, had my surgery, everything was fine, it seemed to go well. The 15th, June 15th, I ended up getting my draining tube out. Then the 16th is when he called me and told me that it did come back. It's cancer. The 1% chance, I wasn't worried about it being cancer because it was only 1% chance. But anyway, I was also reading that out of the past 100 years, there's been less than 300 cases that it was cancer. So, that's lucky odds, isn't it? Anyway, I'm dealing with that. I go back on Tuesday to talk to him some more about my my next plan of action. When he called to tell me the news, he told me that I'll have to go through another surgery. As far as his plan is to take out the thyroid and then do iodine radiation treatment. Then after that, he's hoping, and we're all hoping, that it was just contained in the neck area. And once all that healed, I'll be okay and I'll be able to continue. I will be on a pill for the rest of my life, which, that's a little compared to what could be. But I also wanted to touch base when my friend was talking that I think God, I laugh and say God pushed me. I believe that it was a blessing that my primary care physician wasn't open that day, because I believe if it was, I probably would have went there, and I would be afraid that they might have just sent me home and said, just wait, if it gets any worse, go to the emergency room. And I don't know if I would have went after that. Also, I believe that my surgery was postponed that many times, or for that long, just for me to be ready for the diagnosis, because I believe that if I would have found out the diagnosis the first time, I wouldn't have been ready. Not like I was ready for it when I got it, but I was probably a lot more prepared for it. But no, I have an appointment on the 28th to find out what else is going on, or what to do. But I believe that I got a lot of support, friends and family, and I have a lot of prayer warriors out there praying for me too. But I've made a couple other videos, some worse than others. This is new to me. I've never really done that, but I'm going to post this, and I hope if you have any questions or want to talk, just message. Bye.